Hello and good evening, and welcome to another, I'm going to still say it, a lockdown open mic hour, because we're not quite there yet, are we? But we're getting on the right road and on the right path. Just to let you know, we are having a few technical issues over in the USA at present. So I will bring the guests on as and when they come into the back room on the studio as well. So how's everyone? How's your week? What you've been up to? Great to have you along. Good evening, Gemma. So what have you seen? What have you come across this week? I haven't done any posters. I will get back onto that as soon as I can. I've had an extremely busy week. What do you know? Where are we up to? What's going on? And we're just waiting for the amazing Bob O'Hurley and Tom, I believe, that's going to be joining us. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I seen a picture the other week that come up on one of my memories, and what I was going to say about that was it took me back. I think it was about 2014. This picture came up, and I actually done some. I went round Chamonley Castle, which is in Cheshire. When I was doing the rounds in Chamonley, Cheshire, which I actually put on my page, it just brought back a lot of memories from certain spirits that you've come across and bumped into on a regular occurrence and that as well. So has anybody had any recurrences in and around spirits that seem to come up all the time, or certain spirit energies that seem to be in certain places and locations that you go to and you think, oh, I've met this person before and all that? And I am going to put this picture up, and it was quite a famous one because it was, I think it was in all the Sunday papers at the time. And again, when I went to this Chamonley Castle, it was actually where on the back of on the front page where Charles and Diana stood, actually, I think a bit more down to this side on the picture that they were. And on that door behind it is actually the chapel on Chamonley Castle. And when I went down into Chamonley Castle, the grounds are amazing, but I just get so much information when I go in and around these older castles and buildings and all that. And it just seems to me that certain things aren't right when you go in and around with the stories, and there's more to come and there's more information to come along as well. So that was definitely one of them places that to feel that there's certain energies and entities that's been in and around this building and this place is just the communication side of it. And when things come around 4 or 5 years later that you've been to somewhere like that, it just seems to reignite all the emotions and information. It all ties in as well. So again, it just seems to be very, very strong again. And when I seen the memory of the picture, it just brought back so many memories. Our guest has just sorted their link out, so I'm going to bring them on. Good evening, David. How are you? Hello. Good evening. You all right, Bob? You all right, Tom? How's things? Can you hear me okay?
How you doing, Gary?
Hi, Gary.
Thank you for joining us this evening. It's roughly 9 o'clock over in the UK. You're all right, Tom, Bob?
What's that?
Are you okay?
Yeah, we're fine. This was definitely better during our test a couple days ago.
I think sometimes you get a bit of a lag, and then sometimes you have to you log out and log back in. I think that's where we've been up to, and then we seem to be up to speed now as well. And would you like to introduce yourselves to our lovely viewers? And again, this will go out again on YouTube. It's going out on YouTube as well, and people will catch in, and we'll have a good chat, and we'll have a good hour together.
Right on. Well, this is my big brother, Tom.
What's up, y'all? I'm Tom, a.k.a. the Moon Dragon. Definitely pleasure to meet everyone, y'all.
I'm going to write that down. That's a cracking name there.
And I am Bob O'Hurley. And together we are Two Oaks Hero.
Two Oaks Hero. Is that, have you got links then, Bob, with Ireland with that surname?
What's that?
Have you got links with the surname O'Hurley? Have you got?
Oh, absolutely, I do. County Cork and County Limerick.
County Cork.
And I feel those links rather strongly too. It's nothing I take lightly. One of those, but yeah, it's fun.
So
And I do have family still over there.
And that's way down south over in Ireland, isn't it? What, right down the Cork and Cork area, isn't it, as well?
Probably about a third of the way up from the south.
Right, yeah. So
yeah.
Do you get over there much, over to Ireland? Have you been over much?
Honestly, I haven't been over. I've been trying.
It's a dream.
It is a dream.
It's a dream.
I was saving up for it one time, and then all of a sudden, out came a baby. That kind of soaked up all the savings.
We've all been there, seen it, done it, and worn the T-shirt on that scenario a few years back. So
how's your day going, Garry?
Well, it's great to have you along. And what time are you on over there? You're based over in Ohio, or?
Yeah, we're in Ohio. It right now is about 4:06 in the PM.
And also as well, is it Yellow Springs? Is it you're based, or somewhere around that place, or is it quite close to Daytona?
We're actually probably about an hour and a half away from Yellow Springs. It's like my second home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Is that all out in the nature? Because obviously,
absolutely.
Away, even before you've come on the link and we've had a chat tonight, I was picking up the Irish side of things, and I was getting drawn back to like druids and all that type of thing as well. Back with ancient fighting and ancient battles is what I was picking up earlier on. I couldn't visually see them, but they were telling me about going back a long time ago from Ireland, and then obviously where I mentioned Yellow Springs, I'm picking up on the vastness. It just seems like Jellystone Park to me. It just feels like this massive place to relax there,
Oh yeah. There's really not enough I can say about that area, to be honest. I mean, some of the natural springs and everything.
Oh, the hippies.
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of hippies there too.
I love the hippies.
I mean, that's a great little tidbit to throw in there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yep.
Does that go back to the psychedelic days of the late 60s?
It sure does. Yes, very much so.
There's a college there that was founded by Horace Mann. Right.
Okay.
So,
do you have a lot of open air concerts there back over the years?
Yeah, actually, there still are some shows from time to time, but not as much as what there used to be.
How did you get into all this then, Bob and Tom? How are you? Is Tom as linked and connected as yourself, or are you in tune with each other and you're on the same wavelength spiritually?
Well, we're brothers, all right, not by blood, by choice. We're brothers. We grew up together.
They seem to drop out. Right, okay, who we got in online? Hello, Jenny, David, again, Jennifer, hope you're well. Ask questions, folks, because they will be up and running on the link, which is a shame they've dropped out, because we're just really getting back into that then on the connection with the how they're connected with each other as well. I will run back in with Bob and Tom again in a minute when they come back in. And what I'll do is I'll just drop them out till they come back in as well. So as we were saying earlier on with castles and all, I was really getting into the link and the connection with the guests. It's just like you can see so much spiritually when you're talking to people as well. Again, you sense their background and when you get a link and a connection, I was just envisaging early days back in Ireland and the Irish name and links and connections. And then I was jumping off. And then I was just going to this vast Yellow Springs as well. But I just feel that the countryside there just seems so vast as what I was picking up on as well. But again, things are meant to test us. Jot down any questions. I'm sure these young chaps will be back again soon. Right, Jenny, I'll ask that when they come on as well. Is anybody drawn to your own deck of cards? Which deck of cards do you really like? Which tarot cards or oracle cards, anything like that you get drawn to? I struggled when I first started off. Somebody gave me a really ancient pack of tarot cards, and they were really, really old, but there was no wordings on them or anything like that. And it took me a long time to connect with them. And I put them down and I put them on a shelf for about 10 years, and I forgot about them and I picked them up. And then it just all seemed to connect and link and make sense as well. Good evening, Mr. Bliss. Hope you're well. How's things? Ask any questions that you want, folks. What have you been up to this week? What have you seen? What have you come across? I was talking about prior to Bob and Tom coming on about links of spirits that seem to come back round again, and we've had contact in and around certain places or locations. And I was talking about Chimonley Castle there and certain famous pictures that's of I think it was Charles and Di there as well. Again, when you go inside certain places and everything just seems to open up and highlight again of all the layers that come off within that building and the land and the properties around the certain castles as well. Is there any castles that you're drawn to? I will be touching on castle program as well soon. I'm going to do an hour on castles because I just don't think there's enough time with castles that we can cover so much. But I just feel every time we go for a visit to a castle and a location that there's just that much about it. It doesn't matter whether it's Carnarvon Castle or Conway Castle or anything like that. They just hold so many layers, and there's so much to break down as well through all these castles as well. So see where we're going. Good evening, Rachel. Just to let you know, the guest has dropped off because the connection's been struggling over in the USA, over in Ohio. So how are you, Rachel? It's payback time, I think. How can I get you back? What do you know? I must say, your daughter suited the hoodie much better than you did, but I'm not going to pick any bones out of that. But it was nice to see young investigators looking the part. So that was fantastic. I hope you've got me a hoodie as well and some uniform. I hope you're working on that. A t-shirt would be nice. I don't know. Right, if anyone wants to come on and have 5 or 10 minutes, you're more than welcome. And I wouldn't be rude if Bob and Tom came back on. We'll just keep it on the link as well. So you could moderate and chat and let spammers in. Well, Rach, I think you've certainly come a long way with technology as well, because I think over the last few years you've struggled with technology, but you're coming on leaps and bounds now. So if you want to be a moderator, Rachel, you're more than welcome. Oh, you've got me a Lost Soul Paranormal shirt made up. That's fantastic. Look forward to it. Right, where are we going? What time are we on now? Right, 15 minutes gone already. Let's hope that they can get the connection back on and we can bring them back in. Where's your favourite castles, folks? Where would you like to, if you could investigate any castle in the UK, where would you go along to? You know, obviously, I love Scotland. We all love Scotland. I'm quite drawn as well down to Cornwall way at the moment. I think there's so much there because of the distance. It'd be nice to investigate down there more, but obviously that takes a lot more time up, doesn't it? So, let's see where we're going. Warwick Castle. Jenny, Warwick Castle must have done it about 5 or 6 times now. Again, we've had some amazing pictures and captures. It doesn't matter who you've gone or been with. You just seem to get so much at Warwick Castle as well. And we'll touch back up on that. Just going to bring our lovely folks back in. You all right, Tom, Bob? Certainly a testing evening tonight, isn't it?
Oh,
I can hear you.
Yes. It's great because right now we're on a grounds where we're going to be throwing a gathering in August.
Right.
And we thought we'd be able to do it. We thought we'd be able to do it from out here, but I got him. He's right here.
All right, awesome.
Look at it, Garry, looking like $1 million.
There, good,
So,
good.
I'm actually in my Reiki room at the moment, so I'm actually in my Reiki room. So there's loads of uplifting energies as well. We were touching on before we lost the signal on the connection between yourself and Tom, and can you explain a little bit more into that? I do feel that the lads need to go and sit on next to the Wi-Fi hub. So Warwick Castle, Jenny Hammond, why was you not invited? Well, all the events go up on the pages, depends which team you were following and where you was up to with that as well at the time. I'm going to revert back and wait for the connection to come back in with Tom and that, and when that link gets a bit stronger. Warwick Castle, I had some amazing automatic writing there with the lady in trance at Warwick Castle, and it blew my mind away, because when you're in the loop and the connection and then somebody's recorded it all and you actually watch it back, and that was with Entering the Unknown, and that's on Amazon Prime. So if anyone's not watched it, I would suggest watching the Warwick Castle investigation as well there. And it was just amazing how things linked in. You know, could actually see a certain person on the bed in the back chamber there as well. You'd love to do a castle. I am drawn, and I keep saying to the lovely Karen that's backstage, Lancaster Castle. She's waving, everyone. Lancaster Castle. I'm drawn there for a link and to put some connections together with Pendle Hill. And I do believe it's going to have links with Bolton Castle on that region, because it's all on the same plane and all that as well. Hello, Paige. Good evening. You ain't getting near the questions answered. Yeah, definitely. You spot on there, Paige. But as again, it's open mic hour. It's your hour. I'll talk for England, and I'll talk to everyone. And when we get the link up and running again, we'll bring them lovely lads back on, and we'll pick up the show on there as well. Paige, where are you from? Where's everyone tuning in from? Rachel, you've gone quiet. You've got the most amazing book from the charity shop. Every castle in the UK, you'll have to borrow it. I can see not a return coming up there. Lancaster Castle is supposed to be very active. It is. Again, I'm drawn to the front entrance of that. So obviously I do feel that there's somebody waiting there for us. Ohio, Paige. We're just waiting for the lads to get the connection, and we'll be up and running as well. And thank you for joining us. Also, folks, do go on the Keep On Chatting YouTube page as well. You can see loads of people that we've had and interacted with over the years, last year or two. Let's make it happen. Rachel, it's your neck of the woods as well. And if Karen doesn't sort out Lancaster Castle, I'm sure you can. So we can have a team night there. That'd be even better. Right. Okay. Any questions? Road trip, definitely road trip. And also, I think the States has got to come in soon. I do feel the States, there's something from the States got to be coming in. I think July and August as well. Karen's just waving there, and she's just like watching me go through all the motions here now. And you love to do Leeds Castle in Kent. Now that's bizarre, isn't it? When you go to Dover and then you're coming across Leeds Castle, what's all that about? Anybody tell me the link and the connection with Leeds, the name of Leeds Castle? Is there a specific thing from it? Is it with the family surnames and all that? I don't know. Again, I don't do any research. Is there a link with Leeds Castle and Dover, why it's called Leeds Castle? Quite bizarre. Hello, Kelly. Hello, Mr. West. Where have you gone? Right. Yeah, definitely like to do Leeds Castle as well. And also there's a specific hall I'd like to do, but it seems to be in a moat. I will remember the name. I think it's Bollington or something like that. Bollington. It seems to be in a moat as well. I'm drawn there. And there's another black and white building in Cheshire I will be getting to, which isn't too far away as well. Hiding in the background, picking Jess up from work. That's fantastic. Hope you're well. Any questions that you need to go on? Let me just see. An interesting castle as well that I've come across is Eulo Castle. And I think we done a run to, where was the other castle we went to? We done Eulo Castle, and we went to another castle, and there was links and connections there with it as well. And it wasn't too far off. Where's the name of the place? I will remember it in a minute. It will come back to me. Just bear with me. It's not far off Bettico. It's dropping down. I can see the place now. That'll bug me now till I get the name of that castle as well. It's not a castle, but Hayden Hill House is brilliant. I'll have to look at that. And guess what? I'll have to write it down as well, Jenny. Where are your favourite places that you've had that's been outstanding, that you've not thought of much before you've gone there? Then it's been mind-blowingly interactive with what you're picking up and what you're sensing. Because I think a lot of places where you go and you're actually sensing something, that's amazing just to get that connection as well. So whereabouts is that Hill House then? Hayden Hill House, Jenny, and I'll write it down. It's only so I know if I'm in that neck of the woods at any point in the future. Oh, I tell you yeah. Rachel Coinsborough Castle is amazing. Okay. Oh, Mulgrove Castle. Yeah, I've heard that as well with the Mulgrove. I'm jotting them all down. Mulgrave. Oh, loads coming in there now. Just bear with me while I write a few down. I'll have a little look into them, and what I'll do is even just putting the picture up on the castle, you start getting things opening up and throwing into. Now, I know we're on 23 minutes there. I just felt like somebody just walked past, but from the other way. Just felt sort of shadow just walked past me is how I felt there on the screen when I looked up. Like virtually across my Buddha there, that was about 23 minutes. So I'll have a little look back at that as well. And I feel like I'm getting a bit of a headache coming in. Taunton Castle. Has anyone been to any battlefields or anything like that as well? Yes, we can make this happen. I think as well, I think what happened, why it didn't come about last time, is they incurred quite a lot of, when it was booked, I think with Lancaster Castle, they started changing the goalpost and putting a lot more restrictions in, or for one reason or another. And I can't remember whether it was alterations or something like that. And then it just didn't come about for some reason with that as well. Taunton Castle, definitely got to get there. Where's your favourite places, folks, in and around the beach line, around the UK? Where would you say, are you drawn to certain parts of the UK? Are you drawn to Dover? Are you drawn to Portsmouth, St David's, anywhere like that? North Wales coasts. I think we went in the Lynn Peninsula, and when we was around there ages ago, the Lynn Peninsula, there's quite a lot of things gone on in the past, but in and around the beach as well, spiritually, virtually getting so many visions as well. Just even sitting there relaxing and unwinding, you could see so much coming through spiritually as well, in the mind's eye as well. Pontefract, right? I've got a picture of Pontefract Castle. I know there's tunnels underground there as well, in the castles as well, and we were supposed to be getting the keys for that place. Prior to going there, when we went the other place in Pontefract, I actually drew in a development lesson one of the flat-breasted houses prior to walking up to Pontefract Castle, because where you got the museum on the right-hand side, when you go into Pontefract Castle, about 200 yards, you go down a very old road, and there was a double or a triple-breasted house, and we actually drew that in a development lesson about a month or two prior to going to Pontefract, and then we obviously had a day in and around the castle and a few other locations as well. So that's mind blowing how you see things spiritually, and somebody's drawing it in a development class, and then it comes around and about. So again, if anyone's gone to any circles, what have you had in and around your circles? What have you seen or sensed, and then it's tied in? Because the tying in and the linking in and the connection, it is amazing. Even if it's 1 year, 2 years, 1 month, 5 years, doesn't matter. When you get a connection and spirit are showing you something, they're showing it you for a reason. There's always more to follow, and that's what I always safely say to spirits. If you can't give me all the information now, come back and give me more information later on when it's meant to be, because it's not meant to be there and then. It doesn't have to be there and then. You're not going to get the answer there and then when you're getting these connections and links as well. got onto it, lad. Nice one, Rach, as well. I think if anyone's not been to Lancaster Castle, I don't think it's too far away from Pendle Hill, but just walk through the actual Pendle Hill. You feel all the changes of energies as you walk in and around the village there, especially around the churchyard. When you come out the churchyard, there's a pub directly over. And as you swing right towards, there's a little brook down the bottom and a little bridge. When you swing down to there, there's just so much information coming through in that as well. Again, we've had some unbelievable characters there as well. And we did actually get the little girl come through on the spirit box as well. That was in part of the sisters with the witches as well. So that was amazing. No response so far, David. Yeah, so David's onto the case as well, which I do appreciate. And again, thank you for all the hard work with the administrators and the moderators as well. It's much appreciated. Love the spirit box. Again, I have got that actually on there. I've actually got that on video where that young girl came through as well. That was about 5 or 6 years ago. But again, it just seems to call you and bring you and grab hold of you as well. And I know there's people on here that sit in the background and then don't comment, and then a day or two or a week or two later, things come around and about for them that we've talked about and discussed as well. And they certainly have visions and they see things that's going on. And when they connect, it's like, oh, you was watching, you didn't say anything in the comments box. And then 2 or 3 weeks later, something else happens for them. And you're like, yeah, we were talking about that. And I know you was watching the live. And then they've said, yeah, that made sense. So they get to see things, and then they get to experience these things as well. If anyone wants to come on, I'm sure our Karen will put a link on, or the moderators will put a link onto the stream. You can access the tunnels at Ponty Castle. Yeah, I think when we went there was all scaffolding up. If I had somebody else here now, I'd go and get the picture of the castle as well. But I haven't got any, but there's nobody here at the moment. Send them an email, harass them. All right, okay.
Go and get your picture.
Go get the picture. Thank you.
Oh. Hi, everybody. Sorry to interrupt. I think Bob and Tom are actually coming back. I see them in the studio, but there's no visual as of yet. As soon as there is, I will pop them on as soon as Garry comes back. Rachel, at last, someone sensible. I know, I'm so sorry, but you know, it's Garry's hour and all that. So, you know, I can't always be the sensible one that's on screen. Sometimes you got to pull up with Garry. I'm joking. He's back. And so are Bob and Tom. Hi, Bob and Tom. And bye, Bob and Tom. I will leave you to your chat.
Hello, good evening and welcome. Third time lucky.
You see, Garry, this is why we follow the old ways, because the new ways don't do well for us.
Yeah, they just. Yeah.
Thank you for persisting. I'll jump back in and I'll try this the third time lucky. Tell us about the connection with yourself, Tom and Bob. What's your connection like? Tell us about your past with your connections, right. Why you're drawn to them.
As I was saying earlier, we're not blood brothers, but we're brothers by choice. We might as well be brothers. We grew up together, very similar religious backgrounds, spiritual backgrounds on every sense of the term. My mother was an evangelist, a prophetess, and I was given my gift at the age of about 7 or 8 years old. I was going along with my mother from church to church to church. I would be given words from the Lord over people. That's when my gifts started when I was that age. And me and Bob, we grew up together. I can't really say how he started out, but that's what started out with me. We grew up together. we went through a dark path together. Then we went our separate ways. And as the universe, as God has found it, he brought us back together again. And now you have Two Oaks Tarot.
You know,
And again,
and
go on.
and myself, yeah, I was brought up in the church. I used to play music in different churches, but then as like when I got to be a young teenager, I started realizing that music was the only thing that was keeping me there, that I didn't feel anything else there. And so I started roaming around and discovering other things, and that was the beginnings of it all. And then realizing that I could actually see things, which at that point in time I thought I was a little crazy. I thought I was my board. So and there was one time I had like a very physical interaction with one, and freaked me out.
Physical interactions with spirit. Man.
And it was probably some months after that my dad kind of curved. This is what scene. We were around the fire, and he was like, "Oh crap, you two." And I was like, "Wait, what?" He goes, "Yeah, and your grandpa. I was just hoping it was gonna miss you."
Right, okay.
I was like, "Oh, we're gonna." It would have been not that I would think myself, you know. Oh,
It just seems to be losing the connection.
then it
Go on.
that went to the big city to go to college, and ran into some people who were pagan at that point, and they said, "You know what? We know exactly where you need to be." And that was when they introduced me to this shop that I started growing up in, quote unquote, I guess. Started reading cards in that shop, started reading cards in restaurants, started getting featured in different shops, you know, like in Yellow Springs, like you were talking about.
Yeah.
And
Around the same time that Bob was going through what he was dealing with and finding himself and opening up and learning all this, I had found my mentor as well. And that's where me and Bob's path like really split. Bob went down a much more of a lighter path, where my mentor was dark, and she taught me a lot of really dark things that I just shouldn't have been messing with. And that's kind of like, you know, where we all started out. And I'm glad I'm out of that, you know. What really piqued my interest in it, besides of outside of church, you know, I thought I was just going to church. God was giving me a word over somebody, you know. Then I find myself walking through, you know, a regular store, and God was pointing these people out to me, and it would bother me all day long if I wouldn't go and talk to them and let them know what God had for them. And then I picked up a set of tarot cards one day, and I started reading them, found out that I'm a natural, and it kind of took off from there. And it's one thing I really love about my brother. You know, he's helped me out a lot through my dark path, and he showed me quite a bit. You know, we've both grown together, and that's the beautiful thing about Two Oaks Tarot is, you know, the learning and the beautiful growth that we have done together. That's what it's about, and where we've come from, our roots. You know, it's amazing.
Do you find over the years when you split and you went on your different path that's the light and the dark bringing the balance together that you've got around you now?
Definitely.
Most definitely.
You
know, the mentors that I had, they did have me studying both the light and the dark, because of that balance, like you were saying. And then when our paths merged together again after years of being apart, then I recognized where he was.
And I was a complete mess.
He was a complete downright mess.
Yeah. I was a bad drug addict. I was really walking the dark side. My mentor, she's seen the abilities. I hate calling it power. You know, I don't like that word, but she's seen how my abilities were shining forth, and she took advantage of those, and she had used them quite a bit. And I learned a bunch of stuff that never should have been shown my way until a later on period. But, I'm glad I went through that, because it helped make me who I am, it made me who I am today.
Also, as well, obviously, with pages, give us the Two Oaks Tarot to have a look and find your page, because we'll talk a little bit about where people can catch you later on. The lovely guests that have been patient in the background. The question coming in from Kelly Shepherd: how do you know, to both of you, if you have spirits around you? How do you sense? How do you know? How do you experience that you can explain to everyone watching?
Everyone's a little bit different when it comes to that. I'm a medium as well. Everyone's a little bit different. Everyone feels them different. For me, I feel it in the back between my shoulder blades. That's when I feel it, and I get a feeling in my gut. That's when I feel it. That's what I get, and then it's just thoughts that are just not. I don't know. I just
I can sometimes hear them whispering. Other than that, it's just that feeling like when you know that somebody's staring at you. That it's like that.
Yeah, the voice. I hear the voices sometimes.
I just when you just know that somebody else just walked into the room, and
as mediums and as a light worker and spiritual worker, when you're saying about people when they're actually someone watching you, when spirits are watching you as well, don't you? Right, okay, lost the connection again in the link. I think it's back onto McCastle. Right, stay with us, the lads will be back. I think it's about take 5 now, isn't it? So Pontefract Castle, drawn in about 1560, this was from. So if they get the connection back, we'll jump back into that. This is a picture I've got of the castle. It might not be quite clear, but this castle is absolutely how I was seeing it back in the day, and I ended up with the castle picture, but that's how I was actually seeing it in black and white form. But there seems to be more outer rings on this than what there actually is at the castle today. And when I get drawn to places, I get drawn to bring in little trinkets home, and I actually got I think it was a little soldier, basically a silver soldier, one of the trinkets, like little army figurine, and I've got that somewhere as well. He needs to come out and be on show as well. But Pontefract Castle, I like to get little things as well, or a cup or somewhere where I've been to a place or a location. But when you actually see that picture, I'll take a video and I'll try and put it on the link, or put this picture back up as well. But there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's actually 9 or 10 turrets on that. So when you actually go to Pontefract Castle and see it today, there's not as much as it left. You're so ancient, you probably drew it. 15 at 60. I most probably been there, Rach. All right. So again, but I'm drawn to the centre of that with the tunnels. I think the tunnels are virtually direct right in the middle of this as well. So if anyone wants to have a little look at Pontefract Castle, please have a look back in the day of it, and you'll see what it looks like at present to actually a lot that's not there now, and what it was like back in the day. So I'll write that down for you. Oh, and I'll put a capital in as well. That's not bad to me. Okay, so have a little check of that. Third time was also the charm page as well. Yeah, it was. And again, it's meant to be. It's meant to be. We will definitely get the lads up and running. I'll stay on till 10 o'clock as well. But definitely we'll try and get the lads back on, and when we get a better connection as well further on down the line. If anyone wants to jump on, please feel free. It's only 15 minutes from yours, yeah. It is bizarre though, that Pontefract Castle. Again, and as we were just talking to the lads there, where they had an experience where spirits are really jumping in and really coming in close. It's like you can get a link and a connection. You could be 5 miles away, 200 miles away in your dreams, visitations, sensing that something's going to happen. And as Tom was saying, the link and the connection comes from your intuition. It comes from your solar plexus. And that's where the energy builds. So we all build it from our solar plexus. That's my take on it. Again, sometimes you can see it from the back of your mind, the front of your mind's eye. Everyone works in different ways. So if anyone would like to come on, how's your voice, Rachel? Hello, Jess. Are you all back? We have lost our lovely guest, which I do apologise for. Depending on what time you get on there on Saturday, I'll take you to... I've been there. I've been to Sandal Castle. I've actually been there. There's little moat, isn't there, around it? It's obviously dried out now. I've been to Sandal Castle. That was a nice day out as well. I think you can park quite close up to that and have a little walk over. I found that very interesting. Went with the Pink Ladies there, I think, after East Drive. Hello, Jennifer. Oh, yes, we did. I was talking to Jennifer, obviously, in Canada and that, and we had a development night last Wednesday with our Linda, and there's been a military man outside in the house, and I've actually got the paper for that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you about this now, Jennifer. So when we done this development class, I've got the paper here. We both written 10 things down to start with. And there's actually 5 things that I written down actually come out in the development class, which was Hinckley, serviceman, uniform, hill and top. And again, what happened with that? It all tied in. Right, lads are back. Please bear with me, folks. Thank you for joining us. But I'll touch back on that, Jennifer, later on. Good evening, Tom. Good evening.
Sorry, y'all.
Hey, 4th time lucky.
Hey, I'm just about ready to throw this phone. I'm telling you.
We are so sorry.
No, hey, it happens to the best of us. These things are meant to test us.
You're very right.
Right, it seems to have gone. You're still there. I'm getting you a little bit.
Yep, still here.
No, still here. Yeah, we touched on. Well, I'm going to touch on now. Homegrown Horoscopes. Tell me a little bit more about that. Co-creator of Homegrown Horoscopes. Are you still doing that?
From that bit of there was out in Oregon. We were doing that for quite some time. Something that a lot of people were really looking up to, but we definitely looked in this. And I was just throwing, and then we just kind of did the horoscopes in that manner. Like I said, purists didn't like it, but the readers loved it. Absolutely loved it. And that was the important part. So, but yeah, it was good stuff. We got put into the Bend Bulletin for that one. And I had thought about picking it back up, doing more with it. It's still on Facebook, I believe. I never really took it down.
I personally think he should start it back up again.
But
that's my opinion.
Well, it's meant to be for a reason, isn't it? To ask the question.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm thinking about picking it back up, but I've got a lot on my plate the way it is.
Yeah, it's just
You
about
know?
time.
Yeah.
Time.
Us doing Two Oaks and I'm going to school. And so, I mean,
Oh, when
Yeah.
you mentioned school, you're doing your own developments. I mean, I know you've done you've also done like the International College of Broadcasting as well, haven't you? Was that back in your earlier learning days, or is that just part of a career that you was looking to get into?
no, I was actually in radio and television broadcasting for a short while. A lot of people will pick up on that voice, you know, especially when I'm doing my lives. And because I'll start, you know, when I really get on a roll, all of a sudden some of the other voices come on out, and you know, and sometimes I get an Irish brogue, and
That was Beetlejuice right there.
yeah, so sometimes you get the dirty cowboy from Texas, and you know, you should be on radio. Well, I was. So
And you've also done a lot of festivals in and around Pennsylvania as well, haven't you? Do you do them as well, Tom? Are you picking them up as well with Bob?
Not with Bob. I did my own festivals. I did a lot of gypsy festivals. I love gypsy festivals. I've had a blast doing the gypsy festivals. That's mainly where I've did a lot of my festivals at. I really never did any other kind of festivals besides going to different shops here and there. Yeah, Schoolhouse Rocks. Just a couple of them. Just a few gypsy festivals is what I've done.
Also as well, just Kelly's asking another question, that she seems to be having a lot of spiritual activity at home. How do you find your own environment with being spiritual workers, or how would you give some guidance towards people that's having any activity in and around their property?
Well, that's kind of like a big expertise in mine, because I'd rather do house blessings and house cleansings before I give readings and things like that. 9 times out of, I actually say 9.9 times out of 10. Okay,
pretty specific.
When I go into someone's house who say they have a spiritual activity, 9 times out of 10 they do not have any spiritual activity. It's just like some type of residual stuff going on, but a lot of it is them that they're in us and feeling this energy on them. And the time, just a simple and you get that. You rarely have some physical, spiritual act. Has for
God, yes.
Yeah. Things like, well, when I go in and ectism, the spirits and all that jazz, things don't fall off the wall. People don't speaking in different voice and things like that. Yeah, on occasion they do. There are times that does happen, but
it's like that 0.1%.
Yeah, that percent. It's not. We got to realize we're very insignificant people to the forces of evil. You know. Let me say that. Evil. You know. Significant to them. Why would they bother us? They happen to. They're worthless to them. They don't waste their time on them. But when it's a true case, yeah, it can be very dangerous. I just suggest that you go through, smudge your home with some white sage, really good. Say a nice little prayer, something as simple as only light may enter this house. All negativity must. All you when they do this, leave your main door open, smudging, close your door, and reclose. You're good. Go.
You know, I never discount anybody who say that they have spiritual activity going on.
Never discount it.
One thing I do blame when we are through, you know, with speaking on us, like, you know, a lot of times in their homes, that's why we sometimes enter experience money.
Now you wouldn't, you surprised how I'm old when I get a house, and one of the first things that I tell them is that you first off, you got to clean you need to play. If you're dirty, that's putting all negative wanted in your home. That's a big problem. A lot of people keep.
Okay, we seem to have lost the lads again. Ooh, I think we're going to fifth time lucky there tonight. It's been a stop-start evening. Again, folks, I do apologise for that. This is what it is, and this is technology today. Going back over to relate back onto Jennifer's question about the development class. I actually written down 10 things, and the ones I've ticked actually come about on the development evening. Oh, I think the lads are back. You're back with us? Are you back with us? We'll get there. Oh dear.
Yourself.
I can hear just about to hear you. I think somebody's having their fun and games, aren't they, tonight? I think this one's going to run over this show. Patience is a virtue. Right, again, as it was relating, again, the lads might have to click out and try again, third time lucky or fifth time lucky, eighth time lucky. Yeah, Jennifer, if you're still there, let me know. Came across a B-29 air crash in 1948, and I asked 2 questions. I got 2 responses of no, which I've circled in and around the mail. There was actually a link with the soldier that was outside, and I possibly his son that was on the B-29 bomber that crashed up in Hingley Way. So that's just circling. So we definitely know it's not our connection anyway. And obviously we will be going up there as well. We had a lot of, are you back with us, lads?
Ta-da! We like playing hide and seek. I'm sorry. We like to play hide and seek.
We've actually bounced to a second hotspot.
At the end of the day, it's good professionalism to keep going. The show must go on.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
True. We've done tarot events under worse circumstances.
As again,
one thing I would kind of like to.
One
thing I would kind of like to iterate on with the house cleansings and all that. And the fact that Bob said we don't discredit anyone. I go in to everyone's place that wants a house cleansing or a house blessing with a completely open mind. I go in there, I call it putting my feelers out, to search out whether it's negative energy, residual energy, some type of human spirit, demonic spirit, whatever it may be. That's what I go in to test out first. Because people could, like I said, it could be just something simple as just them being psychic and not realizing it themselves. They could be a PK agent. There could be a different multiple of things, but I would definitely always suggest always saging your place using white sage. You can even use tobacco. I love using tobacco. I have my own special smudge blend that I come up with that I like to use. But what you like to use to smudge with is what you should use. Remember, it's.
And it popped out again. Kelly Shepherd was actually saying with the house and all that, it actually has been nice activity as well. The lads have bombed off as well, so they're broken down again. So we will do this show again. We will get there. We will go for it. We will persist. I'm going to jump back onto Jennifer. Jennifer, you still in the house there? This B-52 air crash that I picked up in 1948. I feel that the gentleman that died around 1970, and I feel that we've met 2 lives back ago, 2 past lives back ago. It's actually written down, and we was also getting an era of 1930 and 1934. I asked the gentleman if he needed help, and he actually said no. So again, I felt quite relieved with that as well. That when the spirit was outside for ages, he didn't actually need any help. I've just seen more comments coming in there now. Right, I missed some of them comments. Do apologise, it didn't scroll up. Yes, Paige. No more trying on video call on a farm. Okay, so you're giving the lads all their secrets and all their tips. Get back to the hotspot, lads, and get back in. It's a naughty spirit as such. You think it's family, right? Okay. Keep brilliant, interesting show. That's fine. Keep going, Jen. It has been interesting. Again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch on that development class. He'd been waiting for weeks for the development class, this spirit that was outside, this gentleman, and then he responded yes to me. Are you making a link with me? And he said yes. And are you connecting in with me? I asked him for a reason, and he seemed to pause on that. And then Linda had possible jaw ache, so she was getting jaw ache. She asked the question, Linda, someone who had jaw problems? He said yes. Face injury, and this obviously was from the plane crash. And when we linked in with this gentleman, he was actually a person I'd linked in with when we went to an RAF base, and I think it was Hinkley, where I could spiritually see him about ages back. And what he actually done, he was in a factory explosion working in a government place at the time in the war, so his was fire related in this explosion, but his son also had links with this B-52 bomber up on the Moors way. I think it was like Sheffield way, in between Manchester and Sheffield. And he had face injuries, the gentleman that was waiting outside, hence why I couldn't see him. And every time I looked towards him, he would turn his back on me, not being rude or anything. Just a second, just having a look. I'm just reading back on the notes. And I asked the question, was it Hinkley? And he said yes. Was it RAF based? He said yes. And he was linked with Spitfires. Now, about, what would I say, 2-3 months ago, when this chap was outside, I've actually put Spitfire picture frames up in the house on the hall. And that's why I was getting such a strong link with Spitfires. And again, I have got it written down. And again, I put there, did you see me put the pictures up? And it was yes. So I feel that this link and the connection I had was drawing me to zone in on Spitfires. I just had to have something related around Spitfires. And again, he was actually a test pilot as well, where they built the parts for these planes. He was actually, when the planes was finished and they would go off to a squadron or whatever, there'd be like 8 or 10 planes all gone off in the shift. They would fly them to where they needed to be deployed. So that would have been early on in the start of the Second World War. And he said yes to that when I asked this gentleman this. 18, there was actually 18 of them on the plane that went down on the moors in between Manchester and Sheffield, and he said yes to that. Please help the B-29 crashed plane, the lads over, please cross them over. And he said there was 13 of them, and obviously I've seen this before with this B-29, and he said yes, could you help them, Garry? So I just feel that they've been waiting around to be helped, to be moved on the way. And again, it was 1940, and then actually Churchill came in and along then and talking about the rationing when we had the development class. And again, he kept saying 1940, 1941, Hinkley servicemen missing in action. And then he threw us down spiritually on the development class down into Dunkirk. So we was getting links then with Dunkirk as well. And I feel that's actually where a lot went on there for him as well. So he had a lot to do with Dunkirk as well. So whether they were preparing things in and around that. The bombing of Hinkley, German bombers dropped bombs on the 16th of May, 1941. And he said yes. I think that come up as well. And he answered yes there. So we had quite a lot tying in as well. And again, I could see the explosion in the factory. And I could actually see his wife was outside, which I remember giving the information on. His wife was actually running back up to the factory after the explosion had gone on. and I possibly feel there was children around there as well, trying to rescue and dig all this serviceman that's been outside the property as well. And he said, when I mentioned the place that we investigated, the RAF base, he actually said, yes, come back soon. So again, and he said Birmingham way, and I think it's lower down than that. Got the lads back. Hello. Are you back with us?
I tell you, we are actually quite. This is nuts.
Yeah, we apologize. We truly apologize.
Hey, that's no problem. It's meant to be. We will do another hour again. I know that. We will get the full story out of everything. I'll throw another question at you now, and thanks for persevering with it as well. The Summer Moon Festival, Armstrong Airfield Space Museum, Saturday the 17th of July. Tell us a little bit more about that. Don't say you've gone again. Oh, dear. Right. You still there, lads? Okay, so did this pilot run out of fuel? Jenny, I think the actual plane that came down in between Sheffield and Manchester, I think it was about 100 feet before the peak, and it was actually fog. So I think this summit was covered. Are you back with those lads?
So, you talking about this museum?
Yes. Just can't hear you at the minute.
To be honest,
we're just not getting a virtual. We just can't hear you at the minute. We can see you, but we can't hear you. Right, let's do a rerun. Let's do a check. I think the boys needed smudging before they come over to your live. Yeah, I think they did, Jennifer. I hope you smudged before the start of the show by the sounds of it. Right, okay. Right, when they come back on, we will dive back into that as well. I'm going to go back onto where I was with the air crash. Reunited as well. He just wanted to be reunited, this fella, and that's what I got. Also, as well, with the this has been on the news, or somebody's actually put pictures of this walking past the crash, because the plane's still there. It's a place you can walk past as well. All right, he just wanted to be reunited as well. And then, I think Linda got a smell of TCP coming in as well. Your son's going to show himself via trance through myself as well. And he actually channeled through myself. One of the gentlemen, it was either going to be the other way round. The gentleman was going to come either through Linda and talk through her, or I was going to channel the young lad through. And he said, yes, he'll try and make that happen. And I do remember actually channeling one of them through. The lad was going to channel through Garry through spirit. And we got yes. Right, okay. Going back to the Hinckley Spitfire 145 squadron during World War II, that also came about as well with the session as well. Burnt face, left-hand side, which we also had. I know it's quite interesting, and we're jumping in between topics, folks. But it's not very often I write notes on development class, because there would have been a reason, and I think the reason I wrote the notes down was for tonight. But that makes sense as well. We had a few family members as well, myself, male, 1970 with all his glasses we had through on that. Right, let's have a look back on some of the questions. I'm going to pop back up, and thank you for staying with me, folks. You're so patient as well. I do appreciate it. Kelly saying she's not had the evil spirit in a property where we were asking the question earlier on. It's raking up so bad. Okay, activity, wondering. You could be as well, Kelly. Again, sometimes they might come to you in your dream and definitely start seeing things or sensing things as well. But just go with the flow with it, Kelly. Always, just work with your team, ask questions in your mind and see what comes in and around. Ask that question tonight to your team. Are you opening up spiritually? See what your team give you in your dreams and in your thoughts. Say, if you are going to work spiritually, ask your team to give you some more information as well, your spiritual team, and then they should do. Right, okay. Let's have a little look what Jennifer's put there. Any more questions? Try reading the book. It's amazing. Which book's that? Which book's that, Jenny? I'm very calm. Well, the thing is, Shelley, it's meant to be. It's meant to be. And I think that's why I've had them notes written down about the development class. As I said, there would be a reason why I've made notes during the spiritual development class, and it was meant to be for a reason. And Jennifer saying that's possibly why this gentleman was outside, but that it was just you missed a fantastic night. That's all I can say, Shell. But we will pick back up on that as well. I know we've been going an hour and 10 minutes, but I'm going to run with this a little bit more because I think this show's got a little bit more to offer tonight again, and it's all about keeping calm as well. That's what it's about. Kelly saying there, if anyone wants to come on, you're more than welcome. I will run with it and we'll run with it. You was going to say you're thinking spirits are trying to turn into me. How would you know? Just ask your team to keep them back a little bit till you get more of an understanding. My advice, realistically, would go to a development circle or a spiritualist church. Go in and around like-minded people, and I think that's where you'll get a stronger connection. And people that's in and around you, close to where you work, can give you some more advice of, you'll see how other people work. And that's what you need to watch sometimes, is how other people work. Sit back, take notes, take a notebook, take a pad, take a pen, and enjoy the time working in and around spiritual as well. And working spiritually. Since you joined the chat, the TV crashed. Well, as you said, Jennifer said, I hope the lad smudged tonight, because I know I'm sitting in a high positive energy and a very high white light as well. So this room does amazing things. Actually, my telly turned on and off the other night, which it doesn't do. I've had that new telly over 12 months. That's the first time it turned itself on. The night before, I think last Friday night, all my cases under the stairs knocked themselves over, and there was no need for that to happen as well. So again, I don't think there's a lot going on here, but spiritually, because I would pick up on it more. Read Black Country. Let's see what she's saying there now. Read Black Country, Ghosts and Haunting Show. So many places to go investigated. Me and books don't go, Jenny. I need a ghost writer. If anyone knows a ghost writer, send them my way, because we do need to get some of these experiences and put into black and white again. Let's see what Jennifer says. Amazing how the spider web of spirits links with each other and other places. It certainly is. Did the pilot run out of fuel? We touched on that. I think it just went into fog, and I think it hit the hilltop, and it thought it was higher than what it actually was, the plane. And there was 13 lads on it as well. He didn't need help, Jennifer's saying, but we're trying to get this link and connection, and this has been going on for a couple of months as well. I always felt as well in the room years ago, this chap's been before, and he turns his back as well, and that makes sense if he's had had burns to his face as well. His name was Stephen. Right, okay. I'm just going to have a look if I've written the name Stephen down. I'm sure our Linda gave that. I think we went into a trance hour then. Or I'm just going to double check to see if that name was written down. See if our Linda written it stuff down in her pad. So our Linda would have had her pad. So I'm not going to go down and just pick that up in a minute. But I'm sure she gave the name Stephen as well. Not sure if it's called a Spirit Writing Safe. Yeah, just work with your team. Everyone usually has a spirit guide. You're right, Paige. And Paige has put some information about the Rockford community. We'll have a little read of this. On the 17th, 18th and 19th, they'll be up in Rockford County Days in Ohio, Rockford, Ohio as well. So that's the two lads will be up there if anyone's tuning in from the good old USA, which they usually do at some point. And Rachel, I think this is international. It's the accent. Cheers. Oh, fair play to you to chat soon. Okay. You take care, Shelley. Lovely energy around. Shelley's a lovely Reiki master as well. Tuesday, every time we talk about the planes, is it? You're so confused. Obviously, the lads have bombed out their signals dropped out about 6 times tonight on the hour. So I've been picking the story up of what me and Linda picked up on development class as well. Last Wednesday with Jennifer actually seeing, I took a photograph. Jennifer could see an RAF chap, which we have had communication with over the last few months and last few years as well. So a lot of things are tying into place as well. Hence why I took notes when I'd done the development class. It would have been for tonight. So it's been a little bit of a much needed backup as well. So the Black Country as well. Again, you always see a lot around the Peaky Blinders area and the Black Country and all the old canals as well. We'll definitely close the session down well as well, Rachel. Your TV's never done that before. And Rachel's cleansing the star, going nuts, cleansing the laptop as well. Right, okay. And Kelly's talking about is she opening spiritually? Okay, thanks, makes sense, but you don't know how to do it. I always safely say, Kelly, if when you're tired and you want to go to sleep, just visualize your petal in your mind's eye closing. When you want to work spiritually, you open your office, you put the petals out in your mind's eye like a flower. So you visualize thinking of that. I'm going to work, I'm not going to work. It's all about control and staying in tune and staying in control of what you want to do. If you're not working, your office is closed. When you want to work, your office is open. So it's about scheduling it when you want to receive from spirit, not just constantly all the time as well. And spirit children around you. You should have come on. We could have had a good natter. You're back now for the evening show over now. So you're back home, are you, David? Just going to have a little read of this one. We're nearly caught up with all the comments. No, Kelly. No, what I'm doing is Jennifer asked a question about did we pick up on the RAF gentleman that she's seen in and around me a few weeks back. So I'd written notes from my development class. What I would safely say is spiritually, it's always better to be around like-minded people because you're picking up on their knowledge, you're picking up on their experiences as well. So when people work spiritually and they can share their information and what you're experiencing, you get a nudge in the right direction. So when you're around like-minded people, they would have sensed, seen, heard what you're going through, they would have been through that period as well, as part of their learning on their life path, working in and around spirit, so they can share their knowledge and help you on your path as well, which is, it's always good, because when you're around like-minded people, they can nudge you in the right direction. You get drawn to who you need to be drawn to as well. So I always say that your team and your path will put you around the people that you need to be. So if you get drawn to one person, then 3 weeks later at a development class or a circle, you end up getting drawn to another person that's working there. Just run with it, go with it. You're meant to be around who you're meant to be around in and around the spiritual world. And on your development path and learning with spirits in and around you, your team will put you in and around certain people, so you know little bits of different people, and you can combine their knowledge and what you've learned in different ways. It doesn't mean you take everything on board. What it means is you take the snippets, you take the little bits, you add them all together, you put them all in your toolkit, your tool bag, your spiritual side of you, and you learn from different ways of what you've seen people working, how they work, how you work, how other people work. You put them all together and you will run with it, what you need to run with then. So we never stop learning as well, which is always amazing. Right, so Jenny's saying, any more questions, folks? Yeah, definitely a brummie. Definitely a brummie, definitely a Peaky Blinder. I know I'm quite close to the Ellesmere Port Boat Museum, which has been part of the filming on Peaky Blinders. And again, when I go down there and just have a little look around, it's just, you can see it back in its time straight away. And I keep getting the jumping back side of it spiritually, where you're jumping back and you're seeing it back in the day. It's just, it is mind blowing sometimes. Automatic writing, Rachel's talking about. It's easier and safe to do with others, more energy, keeps the session going. Happy to send you some opening and closing chants, make you feel safe. Rachel is saying to you, Kelly, so just get in contact, get in touch with each other. Lovely Rachel is an amazing witch in more ways than one, and she's got a lot in her tool bag, a witch's bag basically, but she can nudge you and help you in the right direction on your spiritual path as well. And that's what it's about, connecting, making friends and running with it as well. Planchette can answer you yes and no questions as well. So everybody works in different ways. You're feeling very spiritual tonight and you need the spiritual writing. Yeah, just explain the little opening up and closing. You've never even watched Peaky Blinders. Well, get on Netflix, watch it. I wasn't interested in it till I watched it from like series 1, episode 1. And I walked through Port Sunlight Village one night and they were actually filming it on in October. So I got off on the train, which I was going through Port Sunlight Village, and it was just amazing seeing them acting as well. And they had all the smoke and fog machines out as well. And it was just the time of year. It was just amazing to see them working in that period as well in Port Sunlight Village. Yeah, okay. You love Peaky Blinders. Right. Any more questions? Fire away. Rachel, keep it clean, Rachel, please. And you love the Ouija boards, as Jenny's saying as well. Again, I always keep my board tucked away. I actually got rid of one board about 2 years ago, and I just think it ran its course. Yeah, it was wearing out a little bit, but I think it was, we sealed it basically with loads of love and white light. We actually bound it and we put ribbon on it, and we went somewhere and we actually buried it. And it was just, to me, it was worn out. It wasn't flat. It was like, I felt it couldn't give us any more. And I had a duplicate board exactly the same, and that just seemed to carry on. So it seemed to go have its time and then the next one kicked in, if you get what I mean. So we automatically run into the next board as well. So if anyone finds an Ouija board wrapped up with ribbon and cloth, and leave it there, put it back. It wasn't negative. It's just it's done its time. It's done its days. I do feel there's a little bit of a running time as well with the spiritual boards as well. You've got them displayed in your bedroom. I missed that one. Oh, there it is. Thank you. She's back in the scene now. You've got mine in your living room wall, 5 of them. Yeah, I think if you had like a man cave or an outer room, I would safely say if you've got boards up in a room that you've not used, I would display them. But if I had boards that I've used, I wouldn't like to display them. That's just myself. Right, folks, I know we're running up onto an hour and 23 minutes. I do apologise for the lads, and fair play to them. They kept going and kept going and kept going. Again, some nights it's meant to be, some nights it's not meant to be. We always run with it. We get there, we get through it. We will have the lads back on again soon, and hopefully we can get them to a better signal. Miles to throw them back into a spiritual cafe, and then they can use the hotspot there or somewhere else. Got mine in the living room. The live was all about now, but doesn't that make sense, Jennifer? I mean, spiritually, how thing. I'm gonna, before I go, I'm gonna see if I can get all Linda's 10 things that she wrote down. She's got the name Stephen. I'm sure she had a name. I'm positive.
While Garry pops off again, as he does, just to remind everybody that Sunday night at 7 o'clock is the Shadow Chasers show. And their guest this Sunday is Danny Moss from Haunted Hunts and Paranormal Captured. So I just wanted to drop in and just say that for you and to remind you. What are Linda's 10 things, Garry?
Right, Linda has put H, name, just the initial H. Now, don't forget, I'd written Hinckley. Linda had written H, and I'd written Hinckley. Just bear with me. The next one, she put down a male. Again, she didn't know anything about the RAF, where we were going. This was not talked about, the RAF, prior to the development class. Catherine, she written down pregnancy. Interesting one for you folks. Everyone always asks this, what's the lottery numbers? She's actually written 6 numbers down. Should we give them out? Should we give them a go? Who knows? I'm going to say 9, 15, 17, 23, 39 and 42. Not my words, all the pressure on Linda. Doesn't say what week. Never know.
Doesn't say what week or what year or what month. So don't hold Garry or Linda to those numbers. Just to put that out there, because just to cover them.
There they are, written down, show you. No pressure on Linda. Pain in the eyes. Now, bearing in mind the fellow that was burnt, she's written down pains in the eyes, headache, tobacco, soldier, and patience. Now, she's written all these down at the start of the development class, prior to anything happening. So again, it just seems to be all mad how loads of things are tied in. Hinckley, again, she's written down. P. Richards, I think she's written down here as well. Hilltop as well. She's actually written down who have channeled through then after that as well. Thick Glasses, Pamela, Derek, their family members. Pat, their family members. RAF guy, Tony, and Nan, and Meg. So we've had a lot of family members is down. So it was a very interesting night. Again, and we never know what spirits bring along, but don't hold us to them numbers. They're just numbers.
No, they're just numbers. They could mean anything for anything. Who knows what they mean?
They might be for Linda to put on. Might have been that week that's gone already. Shadow Chasers show, come and join us
Sunday 7 p.m. Danny Moss from Haunted Hunts and Paranormal Captured.
Right, okay. Rachel says she's got lovely questions all lined up. Right, just a second. Fire away with bolts of questions. Right, okay, yeah, that's fine. Jess is saying ask loads of questions. So yes, we do readings, Kelly, but obviously Thursday night slots, 7 p.m, isn't it, Kaz?
Yeah, it was already on at 7 o'clock this evening. Back on again 7 o'clock next week. Also, Jolene's got her show. I think she's doing it once a month. I'll check with her and we'll find out when her next show is going to be. And she does angel readings. And that'll be a Tuesday on a different week to Heavenly Helen. And we've also got the lovely Indigo.
Back with us.
Starting in June with their own show on a Friday, offering different types of divination every week. So look out for that. Like I said, brand new show coming to us. So we'll have our psych and spiritual segment at 7 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock on a Thursday.
Do that
We'll
again.
have a different reader. That'll happen then. You have a different reader every week on a Thursday at 7 o'clock, psychic and spiritual segment. But from June the 4th, we'll be having a brand new show offering different types of divination on Friday nights. So if you can't miss join us on Thursday, you can join Indigo on Friday.
And I'm sure our lovely Kaz will inbox the two lovely lads and we will arrange another night catching back up as well, hopefully.
Yeah.
Because they did.
We will do.
And fair play.
These things happen. It's out of our hands. It's out of theirs. At the end of the day, fair play to them. Thank you to them for keep coming back. It is appreciated. And you know what? Sometimes it's the internet. What you're going to do? And well done to Garry, as a trooper, as always. Just carried on, cracking on, and then just added them back in every time they came back. So thank you all for watching tonight. It's very much appreciated. But yeah, I just wanted to come on.
Welcome to all the new watchers as well. Thank you for staying along.
Thank you for joining, Kelly. For those ones who are new watchers, we have the Collective Conspiracy Show on a Monday. We have either Joe with her angels on Tuesday, or we have Heavenly Helen, which does a different workshop once a fortnight on a Tuesday. Wednesdays, we've got the 40 Witches. Next week's show, they are actually talking and discussing Aleister Crowley. So that'll be a good one to watch next Wednesday. So
where's your Warwick Castle?
So the Aleister Crowley is what the 40 Witches are covering next Wednesday. Thursday, Psychic and Spiritual segment at 7 o'clock. Free readings. Garry will be back on open mic at 9 o'clock on Thursday. And I think that's all our shows for next week. You won't be seeing me again next week. I will not be around for the next week. It is rude. It is my birthday on Tuesday, so I am having a week off.
Oh, not allowed.
And treating myself to a week. Last year, my birthday was totally ruined with all of this and all the rest of it. And health and all the blah, 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 blah. So I have decided this year I am having a week to myself. I'm still waiting for Garry's card to arrive in the post. It'll probably come next year.
It's somewhere down. Somewhere down south.
Oh dear.
Right, I'm all good. Thanks for sticking in the background, Kaz, and helping out the moderators as well. Much appreciated.
As always, happy birthday to Sophie Davis. It's her birthday on Monday. I haven't forgot Jenny. I remember from last year, her birthday's the day before mine. So yeah, thank you very much. I am going to go.
I'm going to ask a question now before we go. Not for you, Kaz. I'm going to ask Jennifer, what else was the end of the RAF chap? What was the final scenario? What's the final outcome? Is there another development class coming up? Is there going to be a finalisation? Do we need to go to this BB29 air crash? Do we need to look into that more? Please check that out as well. A 1948 B-29 air crash on Google. Google it. You'll be interested on the remains there as well. And then people might link in with what's going on. They might get some spiritual message as well. Let us know. Inbox us back in as well. And you remember the night, Kaz, where we picked up on the factory fire explosion when we were doing the RAF, secret RAF base as well. But there just seems to be little bits more run with this as well.
Yeah, and we will be returning to our location. I will be arranging that as soon as I possibly can, and it's safe to do so. And
yes,
yeah, I will sort that. Let's leave it at that. I will sort that out as soon as I am able to, because we're way overdue.
That's no problem. And I'm going to say good night and happy birthday to everyone that have a birthday in between now and whenever, Monday, Tuesday, this time next week. We're going to sign off there. See some of these lovely ladies on here. I'll see you Saturday and catch up soon. Looking forward to the rest of the shows on Keep On Chatting platform. And we're going to say good night from me.
And good night from me, even though I wasn't here really.
No, I know. And she's not been on the wine, so she's all right.
No, I've not been on the wine. Maybe next week.
Right, stay strong, folks. Stay safe. Open mic hour. I will be doing some castle topics over the next few weeks, or we'll do a show on that again.
Garry will be doing his GF Uncensored. Don't forget, Gary's got his GF Uncensored show that he does as well.
Monday night, we'll work on who's up and coming next without me diary and lost.
Yeah, so look out for that too. So check him out, you lucky people, twice a week. What more can you ask for?
God help you. Stay safe, folks.
Good night, everybody.
Love and light.
Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye.